Alrighty. I think that's a good enough of a hello. How's it going, y'all? A lot of fuzz. A lot more fuzz. I don't know what preset I've got this on at. 94 rock solo, I guess. Howdy y'all, how's it going? So yeah, I'm Wes. Having a good night, having a good start to your week. I thought we could just get in here, just hang out, just chat. It'll probably be a short stream with the guitar. I don't know. I might do something later. It's just I really cannot stress enough how much I absolutely hate this fucking chair, man. It is not fun, and like I'm like sitting as far back as it will go before I'm hitting the wall. And like I don't have any room for my arms because of the armrest. Like I'm like, I'm a little faster playing. Gotta do the old school stuff here. Maybe do some of the old bass stuff, right? There's my pig. Black on black doesn't work all that well, but yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of hang out with you guys tonight and maybe do something a little bit different compared to what we've done in a while. I was going back and forth on game streams for a while. I've been playing more Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for like the past week, and it's just so unbelievably massive. A ton of fun. Obviously, it made my top 10 lists this year, but it's just a lot not really the kind of game that I think would be very good for streaming. I talked about that a little bit in the last live stream that I did. That there's just some games that just they're not good stream games. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, fantastic game. Please, please play it. Definitely one of the top games this year. But not very good for streaming because it is so massive and it's just it'd take forever to try and stream. So yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing. Just trying to cool down after God 3 weeks or so of trying to edit and put together that video. I know it doesn't seem like the kind of video where it really should have taken that long, but man, it was just all getting footage more than anything. The actual editing, once I got it in there and started getting the clips into Premiere and got the audio and all of that stuff done and just started plugging it in and cutting it up. Took less than a day, a couple hours tops. It was all getting the footage, 10 games. Had to go through the list, decide what games I liked, put the list together. Some of the games I had to reinstall, which obviously took a little bit of time. And then Xenoblade, man. Xenoblade is the reason that I had to go through and put together like 3, 4 different links because the footage transfer wasn't great. It really wasn't. So I had to like cobble together like pieces of footage that I ended up getting, pieces of emulated footage, YouTube. I mean, it was just all over the place. And like every time I went back and looked at the finished product again, I'd ended up getting a little bit further into the game and seeing other things that I didn't realize were like graphical issues and yeah, it was just a mess. Um so I apologize for giving you guys like so many different links. I know I had originally put that thing up for broadcast like 2 weeks ahead of time, something like that, a week ahead of time. The Something Awful forum thread still isn't up, so I know. Yeah, it's kind of a small video right now, just for subscribers, but pass it along to your friends, and hopefully once the essay thread goes up, it'll get some more views. Please watch it because I put so much work into that thing. But yeah, it was just a pain. That's the thing. Is like I'll think a video is done, I'll get it edited, I'll get it uploaded, and then things that I didn't realize were a problem end up being a problem later on. I'll notice something new or learn something new about one of the games and realize, oh, that's not how that should be. So yeah, just after all of that, I've just been spending the past week or so is playing games on my own time just for fun. But I wanted to hop in here and stream and say hello and maybe make a little bit of music with you guys. I'm not gonna do too many covers or anything like that. You probably heard me freaking out a little bit on Twitter about the new Metallica song. I mean, obviously, it's a James Hetfield Snakebite. I'm a bit of a Metallica fan, right? So yeah, I've been trying to learn. It's really not too crazy of a song to learn. It's a lot of fun to play. It's a little tricky when they play it at speed for me because it's got those two pull bends right at the beginning. But yeah, I really like it. It's just it's fun. It's really upbeat. I mean, the song is about how great it is to be able to play music again and be in front of a live audience and bringing people together through sound. I mean, it's a very uplifting song compared to, I guess they're basing it off their first 18 years of as a band, but it's definitely a lot more upbeat than that. I mean, the main riff is it's a lot of fun. No, not really a whole lot of minors or anything like that. It feels like it's all majors and until the end there. But yeah, it's a great song. I love it. I did not get my tickets yet. I was debating it. For my area, they were like 280, and then I have to pay all the Ticketmaster fees or whatever. But the big thing is that they only offered the 2-night tickets up front, Which I mean, for myself, that wouldn't have been bad, I guess. But my dream has always been to go to a Metallica show and enjoy bands that I like with someone that I like. So I've never had a chance to do that. So I would rather pay that price for 2 tickets for one night than just go by myself for 2 nights, right? So kind of unfortunate. I hope I can get tickets in January. Metallica, I'm willing to pay a fair amount. But yeah, unfortunately, this is the first time that they've come to my area, and pretty much since I first started listening to them, that I have not basically got tickets right when they went up. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little sad about it. Um, but I'll have the chance in January for the single night tickets, and they put on such a great show. I just love them. And that kind of spurred me on to actually pick this thing up again because it's been kind of sitting lonely and cold in its case for the past past while. So yeah, I figured that's what we would do tonight, and just kind of dig around here and just kind of play around on the guitar, just kind of chat. It's gonna be a let's see, here we go again with all of these presets, because like half of them are like not even really like presets. They're not even really like, they're just sounds. Like, I don't know, I'm feeling kind of jazzy tonight, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a songwriter. I just felt like having something in my hands and just kind of doing something in the middle of talking, just spice it up a little bit, I guess. But but yeah, so it's been yeah, that's basically what I've spent my week doing, is just kind of chilling and hanging out. But I do miss streaming, and I don't know, just watching other streamers inspires me to stream more, I guess. I feel like that's a lot of streamers out there. Um and it makes you want to do better. It's that kind of community, man. I'll watch like Hollow Live doing all of their stuff right now, and it's like, man, I want to do that. So it's like, well, maybe I need to stream more and do better streaming of it, right? Um, but um, but hopefully I'll be able to do it a little bit more this week, and I'm trying to figure out some games to play. Something a little bit different. Obviously we got to finish the Final Fantasy VI playthrough at this point. I do will have some time now that I'm kind of rested and rejuvenated a little bit, right? But I don't know. I'm feeling something a little different. It's I like the FF14 streams and kind of turning those into just chatting streams, but I'd like to like something that we can actually play on stream and really sit down and enjoy, just something different. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy that plays a lot of the same games over and over again rather than playing a bunch of different games. And I'd like to try something different. I mean, I'm in that kind of gaming rut where it's just like, yeah, everything's kind of feels kind of old. Xenoblade's great, but it's also like it's so large, and I've been playing it for endlessly for the past week that I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't want to give this up because I really like it, and I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. But like, there's just so much to do that like I just feel like I'm not making any progress with all the colonies and unlocking all the heroes and raising affinities and all of that stuff. It's almost too large. Elden Ring doesn't quite have that problem. It does and it doesn't, because it's so open world and there's not really a set path. Here it's like you have designated goals in Xenoblade, so you're kind of like incentivized to do them. but that also kind of makes you feel like you have to do them. Whereas in Elden Ring, it's just like I don't want to go here, so I'm not going to go there. Um, but yeah, it's still fantastic. And I love Xenoblade. It's nice to have it back. It really blew me away. I just kind of thought it was like gonna be another sequel. I like the Tales series. Like, oh, here's another Tales game. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's okay. But Xenoblade is like, hey, we're back. You remember us, right? So it's been pretty good. Um, I have no qualms about putting it on the list. If I had to change anything about the list, I might put it a little bit higher. But it's one of those things where like top five and on, they're pretty close. It really wasn't like a super huge distant jump between any of them for me. Like you could really kind of interchange most of the top five in my opinion and be perfectly fine with it. Um, so I kind of waffle back and forth even now on whether or not Xenoblade better than Stray. Did I really like it more than Stray? Stray, I put up a little bit more for the ingenuity of it because I'm really big on games that are unique and they're doing something different and they're not just big AAA titles kind of resting on their laurels, right? Like it's kind of like Disney. Like that's all that you see nowadays are the big Marvel movies, right? So I think we're kind of entering that era where it feels like innovation is more at a premium nowadays. It's always nice to see independent and smaller developers or smaller studios giving a chance to these kind of weird ideas. So that's kind of why Stray got up a little bit more, and definitely why Vampire Survivors ended up as high as it did. It definitely, even if they didn't necessarily engross me in the same way as Xenoblade did or Persona did, um, it was hard to deny like how unique they were. And Stray was just kind of a nice, comfy, chill game too. Like it wasn't engrossing in the same way, but it had different merits because of that. Like it was a perfect kind of like, hey, let's just get cozy and sit up in a blanket and just play this chill game. And yeah, it was a little bit different. So, it didn't really have like a strict criteria. I know there are some forum goers when this thread goes up that actually do like write down and number their criteria for their game of the year list. Like this forum thread's a pretty big deal. It started a few years ago, and obviously something awful was a pretty big site in the formation of the internet as we know it. Right, and you can go. There have been books written about it, but I'm still plugging along. Their forums are smaller, but the video games forum is still pretty hefty and pretty good. So their game of the year thread tends to be a pretty big deal, and people take it pretty seriously. And yeah, some people write their criteria down and where they ranked each aspect of these games and all of that stuff. So I didn't do anything like that. I kind of had like an internal list, like, hey, how much did I enjoy this game? How much mental capacity did I have to put towards this game? How much mental real estate did it give me over the course of the of my playthrough? And obviously, Elden Ring was huge. Nothing was going to top that at this point. I think that'll end up being SA's game of the year, but it'd be nice to see if Xenoblade or something like Vampire Survivors comes up from behind and wins it. They tend to do stuff like that. Like it's just games that you like. Like my list, their lists are not like an objective like they game awards. Here's the best game of the year kind of thing. It's more like our favorite top 10 games that we like. And that's something that I hope I got across. So in the course of the video is like don't come into the comments and argue that like this game shouldn't have been number whatever or something. It's just the games that I like. I'd rather hear about, games that you liked. Where would you put this game on your list? Would this game be on your list? What other games that were not on the list did you like? It's more of a celebration of games, which I think is something that's sorely needed nowadays. Thanks to I've talked about them a lot, but thanks to the internet and red letter media and certain gaming gaming channels, negativity is the name of the game, right? So you don't really get a chance to see as much like positivity towards games, and that's something that I'm hoping got across. I'd rather hear about games you liked rather than wasting energy listening to people talk about games I liked that they didn't. You know, why they didn't like my list. So yeah, if you go back and watch it, tell me your favorite games in the comments, man. I like talking about new games. There's a lot of games that I wanted to play that I either couldn't afford or didn't get a chance to put onto the list. Sonic Frontiers was probably the top one that I just did not get a chance to play. Hopefully, the list, the thread that they make every year is not limited to just games released that year. So, if I play Sonic Frontiers next year and I really like it, then hopefully give it a chance, right? Oh God, God's Love. I forgot this one. I remember how Voodoo Child went for a second. It's been a long time since I played it. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of Hendrixy. Maybe that's why they call it God's Love. Yeah, some of his more distorted stuff, I guess, could fall under some of these effects. I don't know. I can't play Voodoo Child like Hendrix or Stevie Ray did. It's that's not this kind of channel. If you're here expecting the do or something like that, go check out them. This is me being bored and wanting to stream some guitar and just kind of practice a little bit. But yeah, I mean it sounds pretty good. I know more about music than I know about playing it. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, so overall I was pretty happy with the games that I played this year. Oceanomics probably surprised me the most. I thought it would end up going higher than it did, but it ended up being really hard. Like way different than I thought. I thought it was going to be kind of like what is a potion crafter? The one that a lot of the hollows have played. But it was not. It was not a chill, relaxing talking game like that. Like it is snappy. You have like 10 days to craft certain potions for this competition, and if you fail the competition, you got to start over or start back a certain number of days, and then like those competitions happen every 10 days. So like if you don't get super ahead super early, you can't beat it straight up. I don't know if they patched it since then, since I made the video. That's the problem with these videos is I say all of these things and they put out a patch a couple days later that kind of changes things up, right? um but um but yeah, it was a game that I thought I was going to like a lot more than I did. I mean, I still liked it, and I think it's very cute, very charming. But I thought it would go higher than Shredder's Revenge and Gundam Evo. Shredder's Revenge I thought would go a little bit higher, maybe, but unfortunately, I couldn't find games. Single player mode great, arcade mode great, but there's just no one to play with, and yeah, unfortunately, for a game like that, it has that initial rush, and then you have only a few players really interested in it after that. But it is a lot of fun if you have like local co-op friends to play with, or people over Discord or something like that. Highly recommended. But you know, in all the time that I was trying to get footage and just play through it, I think I only found one open online game. That was it. I think if it still had a robust online community, it would have been a little bit higher. And then, of course, Gundam Evo. Now, I really like Gundam Evo. I'm sure, you know, some people will give me hell for that one, putting it above like Shredder's Revenge and stuff. But I really love it. I love hero shooters. I wish Blizzard wasn't Blizzard because I'd probably still be playing Overwatch, but no. So you know, I'm always on the lookout for like a good arena hero shooter, and there's not a whole lot out there. You know, you got the big battle royales like Fortnite and Apex and stuff, but I like the smaller stuff. Just I grew up on Unreal and that kind of thing, Unreal and Quake. So yeah, Gundam is a lot of fun. Like I still, even today, really enjoy the actual gameplay of it. It just sucks to get into a game that you know has like no support whatsoever and you know, doesn't feel like you're making any progress because everything's locked behind a paywall. But you know, it got the points because again, I really really like the game. You know, Elden Ring I think is probably going to be number one for a lot of people this year. You know, it's not like I said in the video, not a super inspired choice, I guess you could say. It's not a very creative choice, like, oh, another Elden Ring at number one, who would have guessed? But it really is that good. Like, I can't think of any games this year that came out that were just like that really just engrossed me the way that it did. Because like I said, I've said it many times, I'm not a big Souls fan. I say it a lot, and then you know, I end up playing a Dark Souls game and I have a lot of fun with it, but they're not games that I really go back and revisit. Like I know some people are just like that's all they play and they just play through New Game Plus 5 and all this other thing. But I'm not that kind of fan. And I just don't like the narrow hallways and jump scares and repetition and that kind of thing of a lot of them. You know, they're kind of fun in the moment, but after a while, it just feels kind of like a slog to me. Not a game that like I go out and just buy for my own personal fun. So I really did not expect to like Elden Ring, and I only bought it because everyone was talking about it. But it was just so different from the Souls games, not just in the open world and that kind of thing, but even in the tone. Like it's a fairly bright game overall. Sorry. Like it's a fairly bright game overall. You know, you're out in the sunlight and everything's very pretty and kind of a little more heavily saturated, I think, in the color scheme than a lot of the past ones. So, you know, obviously it's a Souls game. It's a dark world that you're living in, but tonally it also had a lot of brightness to it that I think I liked. So it really did feel like an Arthurian legend. You know, I said that in the video, but it really did feel like a true high fantasy, whereas a lot of the older Souls games never really felt like fantasy to me. They felt more like horror with a fantasy touch. Like, this was straight up like, hey, young knight, go on a quest. And I just go, okay. And I do. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Green Knight. Felt like that, sort of. All right, what do we want to do here? Heavy 800. Yeah, it doesn't have enough rebirth. Let me try. What's Oh, now I remember. It's hardcore 51. This one's got a little bit more of the crunch and the high end. Yeah, see. What is that? Is that what they call scoop? I think maybe it is. I don't know. I don't really have. I don't know if my amp has scoop on it. So I don't really know what a lot of the terms are. But that's. Like I can feel the guitar slipping away in my hands because of this stupid armrest. Like my shoulder or my elbow just keeps going. You know. There we go. That doesn't sound too bad though. But yeah. So yeah, Elden Ring just really truly felt like a high fantasy legend. So I really had no issues whatsoever playing it and putting it as my number one. I really enjoyed it. And I think what I enjoyed the most about it is that for the most part, the Discord discussions and stuff that I was in, they weren't data mined. Like that was part of the fun of it for me was the fact that we were like discussing how to find all of this stuff and uncover these secrets and where did these quests go because it wasn't data mined. Like nowadays games are just so data mined to hell and back, and I don't know if it's because of the way that they package the game, like the actual install packages or whatever. Um or if it was just a community thing to be like, hey, don't give all of this stuff away yet. Eventually, for some of the quests, I looked up, you know, the chains and whatnot, and you know, I had to do it that way. I never would have finished the Ronnie quest line on my own. There's just absolutely no way in hell I would have found the coffin. No way. But for the most part, it's just fun to just talk with people. And despite being, you know, this lonely adventure through the lands between, like there's a big community aspect to it too, right? So yeah, it was definitely my number one. But Vampire Survivors was up there. I really liked Vampire Survivors. Just it's just the perfect old school. Hey guys, game should be fun and replayable. It's less than $5. Go ham. Like it really is just the perfect. Just like hang back, play a game or two, sit and chat, and it's a lot of fun and in some cases kind of funny for a game that doesn't really have a story. I mean, I guess it has lore, but it doesn't really have a story. And you know, Ponkel's just, you know, one person out there making this, and you know, I guess they've hired some freelancers and stuff since then. You know, I don't think I put that in the video, but you know, Ponkel's got a team of sorts now, kind of working on it, which, you know, good for them. You know, actually making a game big enough that they needed it. Um, but there was obviously a lot of love and a lot of work poured into it, and having fun with the community. So um, definitely worthy of a number two. But yeah, just really, it was a solid year for games. I think, you know, Jazz Reverb. I don't know, almost like midnight or whatever. So might even be past it. So just, you know, something kind of quiet and something kind of dark, I guess. The problem is I never learned music theory, so I don't know like what all the different progression chords and whatnot are. I'm sure there's a name for like that old school style, you know, the style used in Sleepwalk. I don't know if you guys know Sleepwalk. Brian's sets are covered it a few years, uh, more than a few years ago, but he did a very good cover of it. But yeah, just kind of dark, seedy night kind of thing. I like that kind of stuff. Devin Townsend's new album has a song that I really like, and it's not like one of the main tracks. It's called Boogus. It's a lot of fun. Makes me wish that I was like living in the '60s and had a conversation pit in my home, and like people dressed in suits and having cocktails and stuff. It's one of those kind of tracks. I don't know what that style was called. Like it's not quite like you had the '60s beach craze, right? And yeah, that kind of surfing style to it, right? But then you had something that was more like for inner metropolitan areas. You know, the kind of stuff you see on Mad Men. And like I never I don't know the name of the genre that that kind of song would be in, but I really like that stuff. You know, it's not quite bossa nova. Maybe it might be bossa nova. Maybe it's like a subgenre of it. But I don't know. I just really like it. Yeah, yeah. The early electric guitar sound in there. Um, they were first getting wild with reverb and stuff, right? So yeah, I really like that kind of thing. I wish I could play well enough. It's hard to play. Um, I can't really do any Brian Setzer stuff. It's he's way beyond me. He's probably in my opinion, one of the most underrated guitarists probably ever. Brian Setzer is extremely good. And a lot of that is because he did play a lot of that old greaser style music, right? Um, but yeah, I just really enjoy it. But yeah, what was I saying? So overall, pretty good. Pretty good. I'm excited to see what other people's lists include. Obviously, I don't have a console other than the Switch, so no God of War or anything like that. Um, I was disappointed I didn't get to play Monster Hunter Rise. I saw it's coming to Game Pass. I might renew Game Pass for it. I don't know if the Game Pass version is going to include Sunbreak or not, but yeah, it might be an option. I just hate everything that they did with the microtransactions in it. Just absolutely ridiculous. I would not have expected that from Capcom. I've seen a lot of people kind of commenting the same. Like that's the kind of thing you expect Bandai Namco to do, not necessarily Capcom. But Monster Hunter's a big cash cow for them. I guess they're like, well, we can make money off of this. So, but if it's on Game Pass, it's a little different. I'm not paying $60 for it. I'm paying 10 or whatever that month happens to be. So yeah, that was another one I really wanted to give a shot. I think Sonic Frontiers was probably the biggest one. Um the uh the price was the big holdup. And it seems like maybe I made the right choice in holding off on it. Like it seems like it's getting really good reviews, but it might not be quite a $60 game. It might be more like a $30 to $40 game because apparently it does get kind of repetitive the more it goes on. That's the other thing with like Elden Ring and these other ones is they don't really get repetitive because there's always stuff to improve on and whatnot. Yeah, Puppet Master. Here we go. This one to me did not sound quite like it. It's close, but it doesn't have that extra little bit of reverb to it, right? Like it feels like it clips it a little bit too soon in terms of the gating on the strings there. Um, yeah, especially live because they really like to drag out those intro notes a little bit. Like the intro I guess kind of sounds close. Like that part sounds good. But that and it could be my noise gate that's on here too. But like you get into the main riff and it just I don't know, it doesn't feel quite as punchy. But it's nice that they had. I see I found this preset somewhere called Puppet Master, and it's close enough. I guess I could add like a reverb or a delay on here if I really wanted to. Where's a good clean one? I need to find like a nice clean. Something with a little bit of reverb to it. But without the oh no. Rockabilly, that's what I was trying to think of earlier that Brian Setzer kind of got his start on, right? He's played a lot more than that over the years. But yeah, back in the old Stray Cats era, right? The rockabilly stuff. Kind of nice. Well, ambient wind we got going on back there. This is this weird delay that I've got on. Let's clean. There we go. Clean filter pan delay. No. Clean chorus. No. Yeah, I just I don't know. I don't quite see anything here that's quite what I want. It's quite there, right? That's probably the closest. Probably the closest on there. It's still, I don't know. It sounds a little off. I tuned this before and it doesn't sound a little sharp. I don't know. I thought I had done that. That one I haven't played in a while, but I like playing it. I almost guarantee if I was on my bed playing it, I probably wouldn't be messing it up as much. I don't know. It's fucking. I'm asking for a new chair for Christmas, but we'll see if I get it. That is another big thing. Is hopefully I will have a new microphone soon, so don't be surprised if. Hopefully the sound ends up getting a little bit cleaner. Where I'm hoping to move up to something a little bit higher end and a bit more professional. Plus this one's all beat up. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Let me pull this stuff down. Like, you can see, you can see how it got dented in, and I have no idea what did it. Look at that. It's a mess. A mess. And this thing's just too sensitive. You know, I live right next to this highway, and I got all of these trucks going by all the time, and it's a pain trying to record and you know the finishing the deciding straw was trying to do this video, and because it was a lot of recording and having to do just so many takes over and over again because a truck went by in the background, you know, and you guys probably hear it on the stream every now and then too, because as much as I try to mess with the with the filters and everything we've got on the channel. There's just not a whole lot of option. There's just no way to get rid of it completely. So yeah, it's been rough trying to use these. You know, the blues are nice. If you're looking for a nice starting microphone, you could do worse for the price, I guess. But yeah, it's time to move up. I'm hoping to get a Shure. What is it? The SM7, something like that. SM7B or something. Been a while since I played that. I haven't played Opeth in a very, very long time, because obviously it's Opeth and I'm out of practice. Two things don't mix well together. I used to be able to play Demon of the Fall pretty well. You know, I haven't really played it on this guitar, which is... Maybe I should do that, because this one's actually easy to tune, because they do the drop T, which is a pain to do on all of my other guitars, because of the Lloyd Rose thing going on. This one could probably do it, but I'd have to, like, relearn the entire song. Patterns in the Ivy. That one was another kind of fun, simple one to play. Kind of dick around on the guitar a little bit. I never learned the whole song. I can't do it once the key changes, but I could probably pick that one up. Maybe look at some tabs and try and give it a go. No. Oh, there we go. There we go. Fun little lick to play. I don't know. It's kind of sounded good, I guess. That's usually what happens when I'm trying not to play covers all the time. Just kind of take a round. It'd be a lot easier if I was down an open C. Maybe I'll do that next time we play play a little bit of guitar stuff. Is maybe play some Devin Townsend. A little bit easier to do some fun stuff because it doesn't move around a whole lot. Like the chord progression is kind of the same everywhere on the board. And he does it on purpose so he can play and sing at the same time and do all of the crazy stuff that he does. OpenC it does feel a little bit easier um, from when I do play it. But mm, I don't know. I don't know what any of those tonal chord progressions. I don't know what they are. With the pentatonic scale, I think that was in there. I don't know the name of any of the other scales. It sounded like an underwater vibe to me, I guess. uh, but yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to do tonight, and yeah, I just wanted to hop in and kind of do kind of I don't know an after party retrospective the of the Game of the Year list. Obviously we've got the official Game Awards at some point. I don't even know what the date are. Half of it's commercials, anyways, for games that I'm not even gonna play. But that'll be interesting. And yeah, we'll be we'll be doing some more stuff this week. I do start a job retail again. Yeah, now we get the angry music because we're talking about retail again, right? But no, I do start a job tomorrow, so I've got to be up and there by like noon or something like that. So I don't know. They didn't quite tell me how long the shift was supposed to be. I don't know. I don't know if we'll be there on stream tomorrow, but you know, same as always. Keep an eye out on the Twitter, follow the channel, all of that good stuff, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, we'll be back to streaming regularly this weekend, and hopefully, you know, getting a little bit more done on the Final Fantasy VI playthrough, and then we'll probably take a break after 6, and then sometime after the start of the new year, move on to 7, and move into the PlayStation era. So that's kind of all on the to-do list. If you guys have any other suggestions for games you want to see me play or whatever, let me know. Like I said, I'm just kind of looking for something different. It's something different than the same old, same old. Preferably something that's easy to get, because I'm poor. But yeah, we'll try something different. Who knows? Maybe I'll reinstall Apex, because I don't really play Apex enough on stream, I guess. But yeah, we'll see you then. You know, thanks for coming out and hanging out with me since it's the middle of the night. And just kind of watching me dick around on the guitar and say my thing, I guess. Problem is, I don't play Thunderstruck much, but not the cleanest rendition of it, but. All right. So, yeah, thanks a ton, guys. You guys have a good night, and I will see you at some point this week. Take care.